Hello, English 102 students. I just wanted to do a quick video to go over some of the basics of MLA formatting. This should be a review from English 101, but I want to be able to point out a few common errors that I want to make sure you avoid. So let me do a quick screen share, and I'm going to work with the file that was sent out via Canvas message. Let me go ahead and get there. Okay, so this is from the Al Purdue. You can actually use this address or use the PDF file that I sent out. But a few things with MLA formatting. In the upper left-hand corner of the first page, you need your name, the instructor name, the class, and the date, the due date. In the upper right-hand corner, make sure that you switch this to Times New Roman 12-point font, but you need your last name and page number in the upper right of every page, like you see here. And it's much better to use the program to put in the last name and page number than it is to try and do it manually, because if you do it manually, it almost always gets screwed up in some way, shape, or form, and you don't want that. Okay. Couple things to take note on the title. The title does not have an underline. It's not in bold. There's no extra space. It's just one space from the date. Title is centered toward a recovery of 19th century farming handbooks. And then the first paragraph is indented, and then we go into the standard double spacing. And you would have your thesis at the end of the first paragraph, like you would have seen in the plagiarism PowerPoint video. Okay, so I'll let you read on your own some of the stuff with the, just general tips for papers I think that are useful that you'll see in the margins. You don't need headers like this for any of the papers we're going to write in this class, because we have a little bit different focus. This is more of a history paper than an English paper that they're using for a sample here. And also the Al Purdue wants to get in all of the samples. But do notice when we get down to, let's take a look at this first quote here. A couple of things. I'm looking at this quote here on page 3, and, or bottom of page 2 on to page 3. We have a quotation mark to start the quote. Quotation mark finishes the quote. Notice the period is only after the citation. We have the author's last name and page number. If your quote ends in a period, you would kick that period to the other side of the parentheses. Okay, moving along. There was a block quote in here somewhere that I wanted to point out. There's a lot of stuff in this essay. Here it is. Okay, so if you have a quote that's longer than 4 lines, make sure that you make it a block quote. You indent it the same amount that you would indent the first line of a paragraph. And then, unlike a citation within a sentence, the citation is just left here at the end with no period afterwards. Okay. We're going to ignore the notes. You don't need notes like this in your paper, but for the works cited page, a few things that I see in common between, or common mistakes that I see. Works cited is centered. Again, just like the title of the paper, there's no bold, there's no underline, nothing like that. It's organized alphabetically with what the quote starts with. So notice here, this is D, and then we go to H because that's what the title of the article is. We obviously don't have an author for this article. Make sure that you include the date accessed on all of your web sources after the URL. The URL is the address that we see here. One other common thing that I want to point out when you're referring to an author, make sure you're either referring to them by his or her full name or by just the last name. So for example, if you were using The Story of an Hour, you would refer to Kate Chopin or Chopin. You wouldn't call her Kate. It's considered disrespectful to refer to an author by his or her first name. Okay, so I do hope you take a look at this overall on your own, but these are just some of the common things that I see that errors you want to avoid as you're writing your first paper. But if you have any questions about formatting, please let me know, and I'd be happy to answer them.